What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a minute since I have been up here talking to all of you beautiful people, but I am here. This video today is a bit different from some of the videos that I have recently posted. Today I'm going to be sharing 5 tips on starting over and reinventing yourself and how to make that transition a little bit smoother. If that sounds like something you're interested in, then keep watching. This video is for you. Before we get into today's video, my name is Shantae, and if you're new to my channel, I post videos about fashion, beauty, lifestyle, and whatever I feel like talking about at the moment. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that you can be informed of all of my upcoming videos. Without further ado, let's get into it. In today's video, I'm sharing some thoughts and tips on starting over and reinventing yourself. I know that I went through this phase for a little bit of time. I think I'm kind of coming out of the tail end of it. I think it's natural to want to start over or reinvent yourself, so to speak. And it doesn't mean that you're not happy with who you are as a person. It doesn't mean that you're not enough as you are as a person. It just simply is what you've done doesn't necessarily bring you the same kind of joy that it did when you first started. You're a mom and you've been a stay-at-home mom and you have devoted your entire life to your children, those precious little people, and you look up one day and they're older and they don't need you the same way anymore. Maybe you went to school for something particular, you got a job in that field, and now you're like, this isn't really making me happy. Whatever the situation may be, the general consensus is you want to kind of start over in some way. You want to kind of reinvent yourself in some way. For me personally, I was married at 26. We had a baby like a year after we got married. And so I was fully thrust into motherhood and the world of being a mom. And not even realizing that it just naturally comes with the territory where you kind of lose yourself a little bit. For me, this is me speaking personally. I had some things in mind that I wanted to do, some career thoughts and things like that. But I really wanted to be married. In the season that I was in at that time, marriage and motherhood was like foremost in my mind. And I'm really glad I did it young. I'm glad I did it early. I got it out the way. My oldest is 16, almost 17 now. And my youngest is 7 years old. So I'm out of the newborn, toddler, diaper, Similac formula breastfeeding phase. I got to this place maybe over the last, I'd say 5 years, if my timing is correct. Over the last 5 years, I just noticed that as much as I loved my kids, as much as I loved my husband, I just needed something else that I could pursue that would fulfill me, that made me happy. I think a good example of someone who continuously reinvents themselves is Tia Mowry. If you follow her for any number of years, she was a child star actress with her sister on the famous Sister Sister show. She's a great example of reinventing yourself, starting over. She had to go from being a child star to growing into being a woman and then eventually a wife and mother and a businesswoman and an actress. And she just took that whole thing and just kind of revamped it. And now it's something completely different, but it's the same because it's still her. But she's expanded on who she is. So this is for anyone that's out there, any woman, any man that feels like, God, man, I devoted so much of my time to something, but I don't like it anymore. I'm not happy with it anymore, or it's not fulfilling anymore, or it's not really good for my mental health anymore. Like I'm sick, I'm unhealthy, I'm, going to the doctor because it's so stressful, whatever the case may be. Starting over, reinventing yourself, it is okay to want to do that. It's okay to change your mind. I have 5 tips on how to make that transition a little bit smoother for you. Just make it a little easier. And I'm not saying that it's gonna be easy, because starting over really isn't easy. And it can be a little difficult, it can be challenging, it can be confusing. Because it might be a season where you don't really know what that looks like yet. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay. It might be a season where it's just like, I don't know what I want to do, but I do know I want to do something different. Let's get into these 5 tips to help with starting over and reinventing yourself. The first tip that I have for you guys is recognizing when you need to make a change. I speak from personal experience because I have actually gone through this, if not currently still am in it. Something's not right, something's off. Recognizing that you need to make a change. I'm not happy, I am unhealthy. If it's affecting your mental health and well-being, if it's affecting your relationships with your family and your friends, if it's not making you a better person, if you are bored, this is a really good one. If you're just bored and you just don't have any motivation, you're not self-starting, you're not, eager to get up in the morning and go after what it is that you're doing. Things like that are kind of like telltale signs to say, okay, something's off with you. You need to do something different. The second tip I have for you guys is give yourself grace. And this is a huge one, okay? For some people, it might not be long and, it might not be something that's challenging or extensive. You might know right away, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want it to look like this, and you already have those goals and those plans or in motion, and that's fine. But if you're in a season where you don't know, and you don't know what it looks like, and you're just like, oh God, you know that it's going to be something that's going to require some adjustment and some work and some communication, then, you have to give yourself grace. Do not beat yourself up because you're not as enthusiastic about the thing that you are doing now. I cannot stress that enough. Whatever that looks like, if that means taking time off and saying no, if it means taking a step back while you figure out what it is or what you want to do, give yourself grace. Give yourself grace to not have it all together, not have all the answers right away. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace to maybe be kind of sad. Give yourself grace with the new things that are coming and with change, because change isn't easy. Transition is very uncomfortable. So give yourself grace through this entire process. Tip 3 is decide in what way, what area you want to start over or reinvent yourself. Finding where you want to reinvent yourself, finding what it is, starting over in what area, what that looks like for you. It could be school, to commit all of this time and effort and energy into your education and graduate and get a job in that field. And then years later down the line, you're like, I don't want to do this anymore and I want to go back to school for something. So you just got to figure out what that looks like. Where do you want to start over? How you want to start over? What do you want to do? Deciding in what way or what area you want to reinvent yourself. The next tip that I have for you guys is doing your due diligence and research. In some situations, starting over is literally just that. Like, you don't know anything about once you decide what it is you want to do, it might be something you've never done before. Like, you don't know what it is. You don't know what it entails to become that. You got to go into some heavy reading, research, due diligence. That's a big part of the starting over, is filling yourself up with the knowledge and the information to make that transition into that. It's a perfect example. Before you committing to, yeah, I want to be a bodybuilder, go into it and say, okay, what does this look like? What do I have to do? Where are the nearest competitions? Da 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 da. So doing your due diligence and your research in your process of starting over and reinventing yourself is a must, and it will help the transition go a lot smoother. Fifth piece of advice or wisdom that I have for you guys is communicating with your circle. This is a really big piece to this whole transitioning of starting over. Whoever your inner circle is, they've been used to something. They've been used to things being a certain way. They've been used to you doing things a certain way. And they're going to need to be brought into this whole process and this whole journey of you starting over, because it's going to affect everybody around you, right? Like, as a mom, if you decide to go back to work and you've been staying at home for several years and your kids are used to you being there to pick them up from school and being home when they get home from school off the bus, to do all those things, and you're like, no, mommy's going to go to work full time and I'm going to get a 9-to-5 or whatever, and I'm not going to be here. You're going to have to go to after school care or something like that. You need to sit down and have these conversations with those people in your life so that everybody can be supportive of you, at least be privy to what's about to happen. The communication part is key to this transition and this starting over process going as smoothly as possible. And I have a bonus tip for you guys. This tip wasn't included in the list of the 5, but it's important. And that is, be patient with yourself. Be patient with the process. Be patient with the change. Be patient with the transition. The fullness and manifestation of what you're trying to become or transition to might not happen right away. If you got to go to school and take a class, you know, that might take a few weeks. So be patient with yourself. Be patient with the process. Be patient with the journey. Be patient with the change. Be patient with the transition. It's all going to come together. You're going to figure it out. And in a few years, you'll be in it and you'll be looking back like, wow, I can't believe I did it, but I did. That's it, guys. I hope this video helps someone. Starting over and reinventing yourself is something that I feel like is natural for us as humans. And it's okay to do that. You know, I don't necessarily know if it's promoted to or it's necessary in order for us to be the best versions of ourselves and to be the best that we can be for the people that we love in our lives. So girl, listen to me. You got this. You can do it. It might be a little difficult. It might be a little painful and uncomfortable. It might ruffle some feathers. Hey, it's going to be fine. Because the fact that you had the courage to say this to yourself, to sit with yourself and say, okay, I'm not happy. I need to do something different. That should be commended. So round of applause for you. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit that like button and hit the bell so that you can be notified of all of my upcoming videos, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends or family. If you know someone in your life that's in the period of wanting to start over or reinvent themselves, this video would be great for someone like that. So don't forget to share it. Follow me on social media, on Instagram and on Facebook. And I also have a blog. It's shauntebooker.com. You can get more information up there. I have a lot of great posts about fashion and life and recipes. There's a lot of different things up there. It's a lot of different places you could see me. I'm active in my stories. I've been on a little bit of an Instagram hiatus because, well, you know, it's Instagram. And I just had to take a step back because, you know, like I said, starting over, reinventing yourself, realizing that this particular platform wasn't fulfilling me. It wasn't bringing me joy. It wasn't giving me anything. For now, we're just going to take a little break, figure out what we want to do, maybe change some things around, reinvent ourselves, start over, right? And yep, that's okay. Make sure you're following me on all of those social platforms. And I love you guys so much. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.